Be quiet!
Hello everybody, welcome to another S.H.MonsterArts review. This time is for the special colored versions of Space Godzilla and Little Godzilla. This one came in a set that was a Tamashii Web exclusive and unfortunately came out before Bluefin worked out all the licensing issues, so a lot of people missed out on this set. I'm here to tell you whether or not you missed out big time, or whether or not you can pass on this set. So let's get to the review. So this Tamashii Web exclusive did retail for around, how much did it retail for? It was pretty pricey, definitely around $150, I believe, around that price range. It wasn't cheap, and I'll tell you that much. So first let's take a look at Space Godzilla's articulation and then move on to Little Godzilla, this little guy over here. You're gonna set him aside and yeah, get rid of these effect pieces. Alright, so have you seen my more primitive review for the original Space Godzilla S.H.MonsterArts release, you pretty much know what to expect here in terms of articulation. For the head, he does look up. Motherfucker. Fuck. Let's start with the negative here. The head likes to pop off, and that's a problem that the original release had as well. They did not fix that with this release. So yeah, trying to get that back on there, like so. Okay. Head's back on. Let's try to be a little more gentle this time because, yeah, head can move up that much in conjunction with the neck joint, and yeah, it fell out again. Let's try to connect that again. Alright, I heard it pop this time, so I think we're... son of a bitch! Why you gotta do this in the video for? God damn. Alright, so head's back on. Could look down quite a bit. Kind of look down a little bit, not too much, look up about that much. You don't want to stress the joint, otherwise the head keeps popping off. Looking left, looking right, twist and turn, son of a bitch. Oh my god. This is not fun. Fuck, get back on there. Okay, you can kind of rotate the head as well, if you so desire. Along with the neck joint, you can't really move it too much without, you know, once again, the head popping off. But I think we're good here. His mouth opens and closes quite a bit. Really nice. Okay, he's his abdomen area, you can kind of move him up that much and move him down that much. I'm not even zoomed in. I'm always zoomed in. What is going on here? Holy crap, worst review ever. So his abdomen could get him to stand up straight like that, or you could have him bend forward quite a bit like that. Not too much, not too noticeable, but it's definitely less stiff than the original release. So you kind of have him lean left and right, kind of twist him at the ab as well, but I wouldn't put too much stress on that joint. But yeah, you can get a little more action out of this guy than the original release. He's definitely a good kind of loose, not a, well, this guy's falling apart kind of loose. His legs can move up that much, can move back up that much before the sculpt kind of stops you. Well, actually, you can move it around that much. Yeah, whoa, 360. Oh boy. Look at that. You could do that much with the leg. Okay, so knee, you kind of bend it a little bit, not too much back. Move it forward that much. And with the ankle, along with the foot, you can kind of get some pivot. Not too much though, because it's kind of tight on mine. Let's try the other leg, see what we can do here. I noticed that I could definitely get more movement out of this guy's legs than the original release, so that's always a good thing. There's this little flap here of skin on the shoulder, underneath the shoulder crystal, that you can move up and down depending if you want to show off some of that Space Godzilla action. His arm can rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, as well as a swivel there. And the hand can, oh, first time that's happened. Hand popped off, don't want to put too much stress on it, but yeah, you can rotate it, and it's pretty good. A little bit of pivot there, that goddamn ball joint, all right. So yeah, good enough there. And with the tail, you can rotate and It's one of the better tails in the line. You can get it to extend straight. You can kind of bend it upwards and it'll kind of hold its pose. But yeah. Also, another note here, around the end, this is where it kind of stops. Can we focus? Can we I'm not getting paid enough for this shit. With the tail, you definitely want to be careful because like the original release where it stops being ball joints and one solid piece, it does like to pop off easily. I'm not going to show you on camera because that's a bitch and a half to try to get it back on, just like the head. Once again, another issue that they didn't fix from the original release. But in terms of articulation, for what it is, it's a bit better than the original release, but not much better. Now moving on to Little Godzilla. Not much in terms of articulation here, but just like the original release, he's a little bit more loose and less stiff, which is a good thing in my opinion. He could move his ab. Using his upper body, he can stand up straight as such or bend over about that much. His arms can rotate. But the elbow, definitely be careful because I don't know why, but my fiance decided to fiddle around with it and unfortunately it came apart. I had to kind of like, oh man, the joints are not fun to deal with. Trust me. I don't want to show you. Oh God, it came off. Oh God. Wonderful. Now I have to show you how to get it back on there because it is my sworn duty. You know what? I got a bone to pick with somebody. Hang on. Hang on. Christina! Why the hell did you mess with Little Godzilla's arm for?
Because I felt like it, that's
Okay! And the camera won't focus. Focus! There we go. Much better. Okay, let's try to get that arm back in there. Right there. No. I'm gonna do this off camera! I'm gonna do this off camera. Okay, so I seem to have temporarily fixed the issue. I'm going to leave this arm alone before it falls back off. Alright, so let's try this arm then. Anyways, you can rotate the arm quite a bit forward and backwards. There's a bend at the elbow. No swivel there at the bicep, unfortunately, but you can get some swivel out of the hand. Not much to write home about. With the leg, you can kind of get it to move back. Actually, you can't really get it to move back. It's a line. You can move it forward a little bit, like that. Bend at the knee. Nice bend, too. And a little bit of a pivot at the ankles. Not really. No. You can get it to move up and down like that, though. You can't really do much else with Little Godzilla. He's kind of stiff. He's cute, though. Look at his mouth. His mouth opens. That's always good. You can close the mouth, too. And rotate at the tail. But he's cute. And I love him. Look at him. Don't you love him too? Okay, Space Godzilla, why you look so sad? Let's talk about the paint, detail, and sculpt. Being that this was the second S.H.MonsterArts ever released, Space Godzilla, was it the second release? No, or was it the third? Oh, I don't remember. Nobody cares. Anyways, being that this is a repaint of the original sculpt of Space Godzilla, the sculpt is absolutely fantastic. And it checks out even to today's standards. Still one of the best sculpts they have in the line, and I'm glad they reused it here. A lot of people were looking for a repaint of this guy, a re-release, and well, here it is. The only differences in terms of paint, honestly, is that he has a little bit more of a more vibrant blue paint rather than the kind of dull, darker paint that they used for the original release. He does have some shading in his muscles and his crevices. I love the magenta paint they used for the abdominal area, that kind of unfinished intestinal area. You can kind of see his exposed muscles. Big differences here are the crest on top of his head. This one definitely has a lot more yellow paint than the original release, which was more just translucent. Take a look at this picture. So one thing that's cool is that they decided to stick with the translucent plastic they used with the original release, and as you can see here, it goes right through that crest into the eyes, looking really pretty badass. Same thing with the crystals, also translucent, as well as the dorsal fins, which is always cool. Looks great. Okay, now I want to talk about the repaints in comparison to the original releases side by side. On its own merits, the new Space Godzilla is actually pretty good. Aside from the aforementioned crest, the paint on the teeth, tusk, and decals for the eyes are about the same as before, for better or worse. The repaint seems to have a little brighter blue used on him, which isn't too noticeable unless they're next to each other, and I did notice that there's less magenta paint on the lower abdominal area of the repaint. What you will notice is how they handled the shoulder crystals. The original had a beautiful reddish gradient from the base to the white, while the repaint is more subdued and looks more off-white creamish. And you're really going to notice the differences here with the claws on the hands and feet. The original had a gorgeous violet hue, while the repaint's application is definitely more sloppy with this muddy brown instead. The dorsal fins and tip of the tail, once again, nice and violet on the original, while subdued and lacking on the repaint. The biggest difference you'll see in terms of paint is Little Godzilla. And the new paint scheme is more reminiscent of the promotional pictures for the original release. The original release had a much darker paint scheme and shading to it, while the new release has a bit less shading and a much brighter, kind of more dulled out paint scheme. And in my opinion, I think the new special color version benefits from it. It definitely looks a lot more accurate than the original release. So yeah, Tamashii succeeded in that one. So in terms of accessories, there's no Corona Beam, no bases, nothing. All you get is these two really nicely done shoulder electric bolts for the shoulder crystals of Space Godzilla, and they're a nice lime green color. And it kind of tapers off into a white gradient. And these are really cool. And yeah, you could kind of make these on your own if you're creative enough. But the fact that these are included in the set is a nice bonus. But I'm sure a lot of people would have been missing out on that Corona Beam. You can also use these accessories with the older release of Space Godzilla. And you can also use the old Space Godzilla's accessories with the new one. Alright, so while it may be a pricey undertaking, I do suggest you try to hunt down the original releases simply because of the accessories that were included with them. And you never know, there may be somebody selling them out there in a bundle deal. I've seen them out there. At the same time, if you already own the original releases, this set isn't a necessity either, especially given how much it runs for on the aftermarket. Personally, I simply had to have this set because Space Godzilla is one of my favorite villains and I love Little G. And despite the issues that were carried over from the original releases, if you're dead set on getting this set, then you're getting a solid repaint of two of the best MonsterArts in the line. And maybe you can use those green lighting effect pieces with other figures in your collection. And once again, I hope this video was helpful to those of you who are looking for more detailed coverage of this set. If you did enjoy it, feel free to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video. It does help a lot. If you already subbed, then don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you're up to date on any future uploads as well. What are your personal thoughts on repaints in the line, and who would you like to see get that special color treatment next? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching everyone.